Welcome everybody to LYN Live. That means live younger now, and that's exactly what we're doing. And I am excited to share with you tonight. I have Dr. Denise Dukes on with me, and we're going to talk about raising your frequency, raising your consciousness. The thing I love about the master classes is I get to choose what we talk about. And it was just, I don't know, 2 weeks ago before Denise went on her cruise that we were talking about it. And Denise, would you t I was asking you what you'd been experiencing. Can you tell me what you'd been experiencing with I Hercules that got us to do this tonight?
Sure, I'd love to. What I have been experiencing outside of the less aches and pains, inflammation in my body, because I've been a dancer, a professional dancer, ballet, jazz, modern for years, since I was 3 years old. I'm 60 now, and I was teaching dance. So I would just, my knee was bothering me a lot and my back sciatica. And so that was my first experiences, and it was very subtle. It's like the changes with I Hercules has been very subtle for me because it would just be me stooping down, kind of squatting down to get something off the floor. And I realized that my knee did not hurt me. So I did it again and again and again, and no pain. So after a while, I've been on the product now going on 3 months. I believe this is going on my third month. And what I have really noticed, because I'm very intentional in what I feel and spirituality, holistic healing, is that I no longer, how can I say this? I no longer feel the panic, the state of fight or flight that I normally would feel in certain circumstances or from being around certain people that I used to feel before I started I Hercules. And so I have been dealing with fight or flight or anxiety, depression for years. They say diseases are biological, passed down genetically from mother to father, whatever. But I believe it's more of an imbalance, because it's just an imbalance in nutrients, minerals, things like that in the body that mother was experiencing during that time. And it just that those imbalances follow with the child, just like children are born with crack addictions, alcoholism, whatever. It is a chemical imbalance in the body. So we know that we're electric beings, energetic beings, and so our cells hold memory. And when we go through traumatic experiences, and it is, I don't think it was just from my personal experiences. I think it was even further back, ancestrally, that my body has just been able to relax and not be in that constant state of fight or flight. I used to wake up, honestly, and just go into an anxious state because I was like, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this. I would just go off naming all the things that I needed to do, and that would send me into a state of anxiousness.
So you're
So
not there anymore.
I'm not there anymore. I'm not. I wake up very calm, um, and just being able to, give my gratefulness, my meditation, and just really get into a good place to start my day. And that has been the biggest thing that I have noticed in my life. And then, like I said, people that I would normally come in contact with, that would normally trigger something that chemical inside of my body no longer happens anymore, so I could be around certain people and it doesn't trigger
So
me.
you're not as reactive and stressed.
Right, exactly. And that's even without the stress and anxiety patches. So I can only imagine what they're going to do. I just ordered some of those as well. But this is just with the eye Hercules and the eye Revive cream that I've been using, but mainly the eye Hercules. But yeah, my body is in a state of relaxation, and Like I said, even my mind is clear. My thoughts are very clear on what I'm going to do. My relationship with God, Christ consciousness, my vibration is very, very high. And when I was on the cruise ship, I mean, anyone who knows me knows that I'm the life of the party. So I'm going to dance. I'm going to interact. I love people, but this cruise was something different. Everyone on the ship gravitated towards me, and I was gravitating toward them. I just had so much joy and peace and harmony. I was out in the ocean. I was out, with people, and we were dancing to music. And I was doing my favorite thing is dancing and karaoke. And but the when the security staff know your name when you're getting back on the ship from being offshore, you know that you know that you're known. They're like, Denise, Denise, Denise. And I'm like, who is that? And I'm just hugging them and they're hugging me. And I was part of the fun squad, the cruise director. They want to hire me on. They're like, you need to apply for a job here, and I'm like, no, I just having fun.
So, so raise your frequency,
Yeah,
raise your
that's what it
consciousness.
does. That's
That's
what.
what this is doing. This is raising your frequency. And, you know, this is one thing that we don't talk about very often. We talk about the physical things that are going on, the changes, like you started with. That's what we've been talking about. But this goes so much further than that. You
Mhm.
know what's going on the planet? I mean, craziness going on the planet. And it is so important that we raise our frequency. And
Yes.
that's exactly what this does. These are the highest frequency molecules from 44 of the most powerful plants on the planet that are grown in the cleanest soils on the planet. It's so this raises our frequency. The cream that you're using that's making you glow.
And I tell you what, Care, about the cream, I laid out in the sun too long, so I got a little baked than I should have. And my whole forehead was just dark. And I'm in my arms, you can see the tan lines on my
Yeah.
body. But when I was out there, I knew if I had not had my eye revive cream, I would have been right now blistered
Uh,
up, and so I was using this religiously every day. And I had no, where you would be sensitive to the touch after you get sunburned, or, normally I would break out blisters, because my skin would be peeling and things like that. But none of that has happened. It's just been a smooth transition from the sunburn.
this eye revive is amazing.
Yeah.
It really
It
is.
really is. It really
Well,
is.
besides just treating everything that's going on the skin, I mean, this is the most high frequency cream you can put on your skin. And this is all I use. I don't put anything else on my skin. I mean, a little bit of makeup, a little blush and whatever, but I mean, I don't use anything else. I used to use moisturizers and serums and then I'd buy triple antibiotic creams for scratches and burns and bug bites and stuff. I don't buy any of that. This is all you need. But the fact that it stimulates stem cell production so that
Mhm.
those stem cells then go right in and begin fixing things.
And I tell you what else, Care, that I absolutely love about I Revive. I took 2 bottles of these with me because especially being on a ship, you're gonna eat because
Oh yeah.
all the food is free and it's very rich. But I would use just a fingertip of this, just a little pea and put
Uh-huh.
it on some bread, a little piece of bread or a cracker like you guys had told me to do. But I did that before every meal. I only really ate 2 meals a day. But still, I never got indigestion. I never got heartburn. It was just wonderful. And the food was very, very rich and more foods than I would normally eat
Oh yeah.
on a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
But you're like, hey, I'm on a cruise, I'm on vacation, I'm going to enjoy myself. So, but the great thing about it is like if I would eat lamb, it would sit on my stomach normally sometimes. It'd take a while for my body to digest meats. But again, I use this I Revive, and if it was seafood, bacteria, it's antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial. So it just kills off, it's great probiotic, but it's really wonderful as antacid. So instead of taking all of those protonics that can really cause you more harm,
Mhm.
this is something I urge everyone to use if you have problems with acid reflux or bloating. I never had any problems with bloating since I've been using this before I eat a meal. No bloating, no acid reflux.
Boy, that is so true. I had so many people tell me amazing things, and I had an incident. I My digestion is like so good, but something happened. I don't know what I ate last week, and I got bloated and I had pain, which never happens. It was like everything happens for a reason and it serves us. It was to get me to try it. And I did, and within minutes, it was just gone. I went, wow, this is
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have about
whose skin cream does this, right?
right. What whose skin cream can you eat, actually eat and
Right.
inject in your body, and it helps you,
Uh,
because like you were saying, it's the inside of our, esophagus and stomach is the skin inside out. So you just
well, and if I was going on a cruise ship, I would have taken the weight management and appetite suppressant patches with me.
well, I think the way I dance after I done that, I probably come back and it was like a stick because I
Uh,
dance the heart out.
well, I've got bone on bone in my hips and back injury, and I'm still not walking well, but I have no pain. But
Mm,
I am looking forward to the day where I can really dance again. It's coming.
getting there. You're gonna get
And
there.
part of that is because of my thinking. I want to read a couple things because this is, you know, um, Nikola Tesla says, if you want to understand anything, go to frequency, vibration, and energy.
Mhm.
And that's what we're talking about with these products. That's why they work so well. But I want to really dive into frequency, energy, vibration. Um, but I want to read a couple things first. One, let me see if I can pull this. Where'd it go? Here it is. The universe responds to your frequency. It doesn't recognize your personal desires or wants or needs. It only understands the frequency in which you're vibrating. For example, if you're vibrating at the frequency of fear or guilt or shame, you're going to attract the things of similar vibration. If you're vibrating in the frequency of love, joy, and abundance, you're going to attract the things that attract that frequency, that support that frequency. It's kind of like tuning into a radio station. You have to be tuning into the music you want to listen to, just like you have to be tuned into the energy you want to manifest in your life. Well, when you are using products that are high frequency, we're attracting more high frequency things in our lives. Just like as Denise was glowing and having this high frequency energy, everybody was attracted to her. That's what this is about. And
Mhm.
that's what we want. We want people to go, what's going on with you? What are you
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what people were asking. And, I've always taught my clients, to eat more plant-based before I Hercules came about, to just, get more in alignment with nature, grounding, get on the ground. Our frequency eye patches now, have the grounding frequencies in it to help you with that as well. But walking barefoot on the grass, soil, or sand, which I did when I was on the beach, to ground, get in the sun, get that natural hormone of vitamin D released in the body. because it heals it really regulates every organ in the body, every system in the body. And then eating God's plants, the plants from the ground. But now we have I Hercules, which has the 44 of your most highest healing plants on this planet. And not only that, but the highest molecule extracted from those plants are in this one little bottle. And when you spray this into your mouth, under your tongue, it immediately goes into your bloodstream to actually help bring more oxygen because they're alkalizing. And one, I think it was a comment, I can't see all the comments on here, but there was a comment someone said about aligning your pH level. Yes, when your pH level, which all of these plants are alkalizing plants. So that means that the pH level in your blood is now very high and a lot of oxygen. And we know that no negative energy, can survive, which would be parasites or whatever it could be, can survive in an oxygenated body. So Dr. Otto Warburg, I wrote in one of my books, I did a study on him and he was phenomenal. He made that very clear that no pathogens can survive in a high alkaline body.
Well,
So
and that's exactly what happens when you use iHercules and or eat the iRevive.
yeah.
Is it goes in and what they say is if you put high frequency molecules into a closed system, like the circulatory system, all the low frequency stuff transmutes.
Yeah.
That's a big word, transmutes. It changes it
It-
dramatically. It raises it up in frequency and in pH so the body can deal with it and get rid of it.
Mhm.
But one of the other things I'm sure most of you have this book in your library, Power versus Force. This is an old one. I've had this forever. They've got a new cover on it now. But, you know, when you talk about frequencies, this gives you a map of consciousness. Now, this is not frequencies. This goes 0 to 1,000, but it's about frequencies. But the 0 to 1,000 isn't the frequency. It's just his um, numbers that he's put onto things. But if you're miserable and it's shameful or guilty or have apathy, you're down at 20, 30, or 50. And this is on a scale of 1,000. If
Mhm.
you go up to grief and your tragedy and regretfulness and grief, you're at 75. If you're fearful, you're at 100 and you have anxiety, these are all very, very low frequency emotions that attract low frequency events. Then you
Mhm.
go up to desire at 125, and that's where cravings come in.
Mhm.
Anger is at 150. Isn't that interesting? How much higher anger is? But that's where hate is.
Yeah.
Then it goes up to pride at 175 and at courage at 200. So then we're getting up to neutrality at 250. This is out of 1,000. The
Mhm.
next one is hopeful willingness at 310. Just accepting what's going on
Mhm.
is at 400.
Mhm.
500 is love.
Mhm.
So that's when you start getting into reverence, re reverence and revelation. And then it goes up to 540s when you're joyous, and that's a really good place to be, but it's only halfway.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
only halfway. Above joy is peace at 600.
Mhm. And I tell you,
Above that is enlightenment is between 700 and 1,000. So if
I
we're
must say
down
that.
here in anger or fear or grief or guilt or shame, we are so far away from enlightenment. But all of these emotions have to do with frequencies.
Mhm.
Um, Vibration, a lot of people don't understand the difference between vibration and frequency.
There's a difference.
Vibration is about information.
Mhm.
The level that you're vibrating at is the level of information that's coming in. And if you're at love and wisdom, you're at a very high vibration. That's the information that's at a high vibration, love and wisdom. Um, Frequencies are an assignment of energy. Like your phone has a frequency, your computer has a frequency. Um, all of these things have frequencies. Energy exists in frequencies. And the lower the frequency, the less your body works optimally.
Mhm.
So, and Julie was just saying, I was told things like parasites, virus are attracted to low frequency. All the diseases
All of them.
are low frequencies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important to, when I was introduced, I was, I'm always, asking God to just show me, you know, help me to help people more, to heal their bodies more. And and this is when I Hercules was introduced to me by Dr. Brown, and she told me to join the call, the Zoom, and I got on and I listened. I After about 15 minutes of listening, I don't even know if that took that long. I was like, where do I order? Because I knew the power of these plants. And the good thing about them is they're pure, they're not contaminated. I'm really grateful for that. They're grown in the Mediterranean area, but they're, formulated over here in the United States, or rather, manufactured over here in the United States in our facilities. So that's wonderful about that. But I fell in love with this because when you talk about cleaning the blood and purifying the blood, because we all know that life is in the blood. And God says in Ecclesiastics, I think it's in Ecclesiastics and in Revelations, and I think it's in Genesis as well, that, the plants are for healing of the nations. So the herbs, and so all plants, are made for healing the body. And unfortunately, we in the United States, we've gotten, our foods are so contaminated with so many pesticides, herbicides, fungicides. So we're eating a lot of toxins with our natural greens and fruits and vegetables and things of that nature. So our body is just, and then not even talk about the microplastics that are coming into our body through other sources, the water, the air, and so on and so on, and
And
the
all our
meat.
packaging.
Yeah, and packaging. So, if you've ever been drinking bottled water, you are drinking microplastics because that bottled water, even though it's BPA free, that plastic, once it gets exposed to heat, that plastic seeps into the water. So you're drinking a lot of microplastics. And fish, our fish that we eat, that we're, trying to be healthy, but we're consuming it. They have microplastics in them as well. So that clogs that microcirculation that Care, has always talked about with iHercules. It clears that microcirculation, those teeny tiny veins that are so small that they're clogged up. And so being able to free that up with this, it just frees up all of the energy in the body and allows you to relax. Your body's no longer in that fight or flight stage,
Absolutely.
internally.
Absolutely. Lynn is saying, because you were saying about how you knew how this was so connected to source, and Lynn says alignment with source is how I raise my frequency and vibration. And it sounds to me as if your physical universe is in such a receptive state when you're using this that
Mhm.
you become magnetic to joy and happiness. That's a great way to say it. Thank you.
Girl,
That
you
was,
said it. Hey,
yeah,
I'm about to use that one, Lynn,
yeah,
because
yeah, that was,
that's exactly how I feel. I
yeah,
am just so in alignment. And I was telling Care, I think we were talking earlier today, and I was saying that, until people get their mind, body, and spirit in alignment. I call that the inner holy trinity, the
Yeah.
mind, body, and spirit in a total alignment. That is when you are totally in alignment with Christ, the Christ consciousness, and you're just aware of everything around you that is good. You know that there's negative energy out there as well, but you are more focused on the good.
Well,
And
you need to use your words right. I listen very carefully to people's languaging,
mhm, mhm,
and our words can take us into that alignment. Our words are energy. They're vibrational. They
mhm,
carry messages and information.
mhm,
And if we are, I am, if you say I am happy, I'm joyous, you use these high frequency words, you're going
mhm,
to attract that. If you
mhm.
say, oh, I don't know, nothing ever has worked for me before, I don't know if this will, that's like,
Yeah, yeah, you're
don't do
speaking
that
in
to
this good
yourself.
yeah. And
I,
even mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Care. I want to just piggyback off of that. Not only your words, but thoughts. Thoughts have frequencies.
Oh, yeah.
So if a man, so as a man thinketh, so is he. So whatever we think, and it might not come out in the verbal form, but if we're thinking it, then that is a frequency that we're carrying. So if someone is listening to us right now and they're like, in their mind, like, I don't know if this is going to work. Does this really work? That's a frequency. So
That's a low frequency thought.
they have to reverse that and just say, this is going to work for me. That's what I did. I saw this. I said, this is it. But I had also manifested this because this is what I had been praying for. Hercules. I didn't have a name for it. All I knew is that I wanted to get a hold to some of the most powerful plants on this planet that could heal people, that can help people to heal themselves, the body to do what it was designed to do. This is just food. That's all it is just food.
But that's
And
what our body was made for.
and
And
when you
all these medicines and supplements and stuff, they're not. And 95% of the food that's in our grocery stores that comes in a box or a can or packaged, that
process,
processed food is not food. There's
and
no life force. It's got to have life force in it. If I eat an organic apple, that's got life force in it. If I eat an orange, that's got life force. But if I take vitamin C out of an orange and put that in my body doesn't even know what to do with that. That's not food, it's an isolate. But
mhm.
if you take the molecules out of the plants like we do with Hercules, well, not we, but the
Yeah,
science
the
team,
science.
and take a molecule out, it's got all of the nutrients and the enzymes. You put that in the body knows what to do with it and calls that food. And
Wow.
100% of those nutrients, people say to me, how can a couple little sprays be food? Because it's the highest frequency nutrients. I mean, everything is energy. This
That's
is
right.
one of the, I mean, we're not even solid. We just think we are, but we're not. You can go clear down to when I was in school taking physics, the diagram of an atom had a molecule uh, in the center that they thought was matter. And now there's no matter. I mean, it's
Right.
zeros, it's 0.00000001 matter. I mean,
Well, we're vibrating. We're molecular structures as energetic beings. And even when we transition in life, our body is still energetic, it's still moving. That is why it decomposes, and turns back to dust because it is still moving, it's still evolving. We're energetic beings. And so we have to, that's why even the Bible says, the dust you came from, dust you shall return. So the
but
body
there's no death.
It's no,
because
yeah,
our spirit, our soul, whatever you want to call it, we live on and on and on.
yeah, yeah.
And that's the highest frequency part. If we can get rid of our ego mind and live in that spirit, in
Mhm.
that uplifted high frequency,
It is nothing like it. It is the best high. And I've never done drugs, so I don't know, but I just know I've always been high for sunshine. I used to say sunshine and dance, but this, it, it takes it to a whole nother level in me. I just vibrate at such a high frequency, and my thoughts are, I'm just so pure and so wonderful. And even with all the chaos going on in the world, I don't focus on that because I know my God that I serve is a God of abundance, abundance. So I don't operate in lack. There's no lack for me. There's
well, and if you put it on that frequency scale, lack is clear at the bottom and abundance is at the top. And I learned, yeah, I've been in natural healing and energy medicine for 50 years. And one of the things that I learned early on was our intentional wave. I mean, I worked with equipment that I could, that could scan and then send frequencies to people any place on the planet. And I'm
Mhm.
going, how can that be? How does that really work? I know it works because I've been doing it. I've trained thousands of people on these devices, including doctors.
Mhm.
How does it work? The intentional wave. Our intention is the strongest, most powerful tool we possess. It's my intention to dance, It's my intention to be well. It's
Yes.
my intention to live a very, very long time. You don't even want to know how long I think I'm going to live. But, it's like that's my intention. And that's a high frequency thought.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm going to attract to me. So when you're doing this, so I have a friend who goes, I'm going to program this. Well, that's my intentional wave. I'm going to program this to do absolutely everything it can in my body to let my body be happy and healthy and wealthy and wise and joyful. I mean, I think the highest frequency is outrageous joy.
Oh, yes.
Don't you
Yeah.
want that? I
I
mean, that's high frequency, outrageous joy.
I love it. I love it. Outrageous joy. I love
Yeah.
it.
And I program my I Hercules to give me that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
live in that frequency. And the more you do, the more all that low frequency stuff that was programmed into our subconscious mind doesn't have it, Joe Dispenza says it wired, it fired and wired. If we fire and wire it, well, it unwires things, as the higher your frequency is,
Mm-hmm.
the higher your intentional waves are.
Mm-hmm.
um, Lynn says now's the time for people to have the tools to know the power that lies within each of us. Amen. Lynn, I love you. She's got the wisdom here. I need to have you on one of these programs.
Right.
This is the tool. This is the tool. We have, and the people that are on here, the people that are loving this product and that are sharing this product, that's who we all are. We're way showers. We are the positive ones. We're the conscious ones. We're the ones that love sharing something that works, that can help people. That's what you were saying earlier. You just want to help people. Me too, from the earliest childhood. That's all I wanted to do was just to be helpful and to be able to heal people. Um, so so let me see. Here's something else. Peter's going. Here's an interesting demonstration of consciousness is my being introduced to new extracts happened little under 2 weeks of a friend of mine praying for my healing from a
Mm.
crisis. I not only recovered, but my health improved. Absolutely. So many people, and you said that too. You were praying for an answer.
Mhm.
Almost everybody says that. I was
Mhm.
praying and then your video showed up, or,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friend, called me and told me to come on LYN Live.
That's the collective consciousness,
And the more of us that get together with this high frequency intentions,
Yeah,
that just gave me goosebumps all over.
me too.
That's
We
my,
can change the
those
world,
are goddess
literally.
bumps, actually.
Yeah, we can change the world because our thoughts will be so powerful that, we will actually be able to change the direction that the world seems to be headed in. And I say seems to be because that is not the truth. The truth is whatever we make it to be, the
Yeah,
truth.
we have been so lied to. Oh my gosh, by big pharma and supplement companies and food companies, all for the sake of greed.
Mhm.
Not about our health, but it's about greed. And here's a company that gives these four owners are wealthy businessmen, and they did not start this to make money. They all lost loved ones to drugs
Mhm.
and wrong thinking. And their whole mission with this is to change healthcare. Because what I always say is, who in the right mind would take drugs or supplements if you can spray plants under your tongue and reverse everything?
Right.
So, and
And
Peter
cut
says
down
here,
your grocery bill.
yeah, Peter says, here's an interesting demonstration of abundance. Month before starting with with new extracts, my account with something Bettis.com shrank over 25% month a month of getting started. The same account grew
Mm.
18% the next month and over 25% this month over 42%.
Wow. Well, that's abundance.
Yeah.
So now you are thinking on abundance. You are vibrating on abundance. So everything around you will become abundant that you think of, So that's why I say don't think on fear. Don't operate on fear or anger or hate or anything that is of a negative vibration. Only focus on the positive, on the good energy.
And
And
catch yourself if you think, I mean, because we're all, have
yeah,
a few of those
if I
float
think
through.
if I have a negative thought comes to me, I just say cancel that.
Yeah.
I tell myself cancel that, and I immediately get back on track because you can speak to your higher self at all times. So if we all might have something flash across us from time to time, and that's not of a higher frequency, but I just say cancel that, and then I go right back into my higher self and just operate on that. And but it's just about, but getting the highest frequency plants. I cannot emphasize that enough because that's what I have been preaching for years. And the foods that we're eating, I see someone was talking about the foods that we eat now are not the same in the grocery stores as we 90 years ago, which is so
No
true.
kidding. Yeah.
So our foods are so nutrient dense now. They hardly any nutrients in them at all. And we're just playing Russian roulette with E. coli, listeria, hepatitis, on our romaine lettuce, on our greens, our
But if
kale.
our frequency is high in our body, even if we get those low frequency things in,
It will
they
kill
are
it.
not going to affect it.
Yeah, because a high frequency body, alkaline body, kills all pathogens. No pathogens can survive. So
Alkaline and oxygenated.
yeah, so you can eat, the green leafy vegetables and the things that are out there. Just, always wash your foods, just do what you can to try to preserve, what you can. And just don't boil them to death, I tell people.
Yeah.
That was part of
Um,
one of my books I wrote. But try to keep your vegetables, with a crunch to them so you have more what's left of the nutrients in them.
a life
It's
force.
just, yeah, it's just because of the Roundup, the what is called the what is that called? Glyphosate, the Roundup,
Glyphosate.
glyphosates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
so
all of
it's
our
just
breads
it's in
and
our soils. and it's
Yeah,
just
it's
depleted all the
everywhere.
a lot of the nutrients in the soils for the foods that we're eating, the leafy, all of our vegetables and things. But
Yeah.
there's still some nutrients in them, so it's still good to focus more on. When I say plant-based, I mean real, like growing out of the ground, plant-based, because
Yeah.
they grocery stores play a trick with us. The industry plays a trick with us with the word plant-based, and you get plant-based meat, plant-based this, plant-based milk, but they're not, they're processed. They're just
They're so
processed,
processed. The
and there's so many.
plant-based meats, I mean, read about those at when they first came out, because I've been vegetarian for a long time. And I do, I'm not total vegetarian. I have been for most of my life, but it doesn't mean that I won't ever eat a fish or whatever. But if you read the ingredients in plant-based meat, holy moly, this is worse than,
They make it go.
yeah,
Yeah, it is so full of fillers and so full of just stuff. I don't even know. I can't.
chemicals. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, literally chemicals. And so
yeah,
plant-based does not, when I say plant-based, I actually mean the growing plant. When
fruits and vegetables and
Yeah, things that
herbs
grow
and
out of the ground
nuts
that you
and
can pick up.
seeds.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Oh,
so
there's so many questions going by here. I need to stop here.
okay.
Um, oh, somebody said, greetings, God bless you. I woke up oh, there it went. Woke up the other night with terrible cramp in my left leg. I got up, put on a pain patch. It went away in 5 minutes and I was able to go back to sleep. Yay.
Yay.
Uh, I was wondering about pain in Dr. Denise's knees. How long did it take? She's only been on this for 3 months. So,
It only took me 5 days before the pain in my knees went away. And I did not recognize it. Like I said, it was so subtle. I didn't expect that to happen that quickly. But what happened was I was making up my bed and I dropped my phone was on my bed and it dropped on the floor. So I just went into a squat to pick it up and I came right back up. And normally I would have to hold on to the bed to pull myself back up because my knees would hurt so bad, the pressure in my knees and the pain, that I would have to like pull myself back up. But this time I just went down and came right back up. And I said, wait a minute, let me do that again. So I went
so
to
many
another squat.
times.
So I went down about 5 or 6 more times. I was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, oh my God. So I ran out into the living room to tell my son, I was like, Jordan, watch this, watch this. I said, listen now. I said, do you hear any snap, crackle, pop? He said, no. I said, it was no snap, crackle, pop. It was no pressure. And I have been back in the gym working out on equipment and, strengthening my body. My muscle tone is so much better now because of the proteins that are in, like everything is in here. Your minerals, your vitamins, your proteins, your enzymes, your antioxidants, everything is in here that your body needs. And I do this 3 times a day, 4 sprays 3 times a day. I've been doing this. I go through the bottles like clockwork, but I mean,
Yeah,
I
I do
love
too. I keep one in every room in my house.
it.
And when I see it, I spray it.
Hmm.
So people say, how much do you use? It's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I this is the most powerful food I put in my body. This is food from God's garden. And except for my own garden, this is the most important thing I do. Oh, by the way, Ron says another way to say it is the law of attraction. Destiny is by choice, not by chance. You can think and speak in frequency of what you want, and God will send it to you as a man thinketh in his heart. So he is.
So
Amen.
he is. So is he.
Amen. I
That's
want to
true.
read something else to you. Um,
No, I do not have bone on bone. I'm sorry, I do not. At least I don't think so. I haven't had a bone density scan in a while, but I don't believe it was bone on bone because I would have been in excruciating pain. I just
well, I do have bone on bone, and within 2 months of using this, I could walk with no pain. I mean, I was in a wheelchair for 2 years,
Mhm.
and I couldn't put any weight. I had Matt had a car accident, so back injury and bone on bone in both of my hips.
Hmm.
And within 2 months, I could walk with no pain because when you open up your circulation and microcirculation, inflammation goes away. Inflammation is the cause of pain and
Yeah.
the cause of aging and the cause of all of our issues.
Yeah, on the cruise
Yeah.
ship, it was so funny because I was hitting splits. You know how they do the bon voyage party, the sail
Yeah.
away party. I was dancing so much. I'm probably, I don't even know, videos are probably all over TikTok on me, but I was hitting splits. I was,
Oh no.
and I'm 60 years old. And but I was just feeling great. My body was feeling great. Just had no pain. I just could dance for hours and hours and hours. I was back to myself where I felt like I was in my 20s when I was on Soul Train. Because that's what I did when I was on Soul Train. I was known for it
Oh,
in
I
high
remember Soul Train.
school. Yeah. So
Did you grow up in Detroit? Is
no,
is that
I was
where?
on Los Angeles. I was when they were filming in Los Angeles
Oh,
on
okay.
Sunset Boulevard. Hmm.
Yeah. By the way, somebody, and I don't know who said this, but somebody said, I'm loving your guest this evening, Care. What a blessing to hear her and her love for God.
I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Y'all gonna always hear me say that because there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Hi,
I love you.
Hercules to the rescue, says Susan. I want to read you something because we're getting close to the top of the hour, and this is just so much fun. Um, Albert Einstein said this. We are slowed down sign and sound and light waves, a walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the music of the cosmos.
Mm,
We are souls dressed in sacred biochemical garments, and our bodies are the instruments through which our souls play their music.
I love that.
Albert Einstein said
Mm,
that. Wow, that one just gave me shivers too.
me too. Me too.
Janet asked, can you share your husband's health experience? Are you asking me? Um, yeah, my husband had been for 40 years, and I'm not going to use those terms, sugar issues, because you got to be really careful with your testimonial.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time with that.
I think
Uh,
we all.
but yeah, I mean, because, well, anyway. And by the fifth day, I mean, because he was taking injections of you know what. And by the fifth day, he had to cut back by 60%. And
That
by
fifth.
the end of 4 months, and 4 months is that complete blood cycle, he was off of everything, everything. And we went and had blood tests, and his blood tests had been awful in that regard. And it had come down to a number that was no longer that issue.
Hmm.
40 years worth
40
gone
years.
in 4 months. And then he had
Mm,
also had heart problems and for 10 years and had been put on a drug that gave him bleeding ulcers,
mm,
nearly killed him. And his doctor had told him he would never get better, he would only get worse. And by the end of 4 months, he hadn't had any episodes. We went back to the cardiologist who recorded his heart in normal sinus rhythm for the first time in 10 years. This is why I started sharing it. It got me out of a wheelchair, got him out of issues that he had had for, 40 years. And I went, oh my goodness, you
mhm,
guys got to hear about this. This hits at the root cause of everything. I mean, this is a paradigm shift, both in medicine and in natural healing. You're taught if you've got this condition, take this. If you've got that condition, take that. Well,
Well, it just goes what what Einstein was saying, and you think about Hippocrates, who said, "Let food be thy medicine, and let medicine be thy food." So it is all about the food, but high frequency food. And that's why I'm just so excited about Hercules because it is high frequency food. I could not get this food in the grocery store. I even growing it would be hard because of the chemtrails and the
Even so,
toxins
you can't.
in the
It
soil.
took them 30 years
Years.
to be able to remove to be
I
able to locate, isolate, remove, and study every molecule. And every plant has 1,000 different types of molecules. And
Mhm.
they took out well, they studied what's the frequency of every one of these molecules in these 44 plants.
That's a lot.
What does it do in the body?
Hmm.
And then how does this molecule act and interact with that molecule? There were 150 million variables in this study that took them 30 years.
And that was like 300,000 patients that actually
In
studied on
Europe through medical
it,
doctors.
medical doctors. Yeah.
And everybody got better.
Hmm.
And 30% of them were stage 3 and 4, you know what? So, and so two people are asking, what about cataracts? What about MS? You know what? Listen to this. And you can ask me about any condition, and I'm going to tell you the same thing.
Hmm.
What do you think happens in your body when you spray this in and your circulation and microcirculation opens up and inflammation goes away and your body gets nourished back to health and the blood gets cleaned of all those low frequency things and those low pH things, and then your immune system comes back
Comes back on.
online,
And
and
that's
then your this stimulates your own stem cell production. Nobody's ever done that before. And the
not,
cream stimulates the stem cell production on your skin. So you're getting it from the outside in and the inside out. And stem cells are repair cells. And most people after your age, Dr. Denise, don't have any.
no, none
But
at
you and I'm 76, have massive amounts of them
Yeah. When I
because
get 3 years into like you, I have lost the body like you, Care. Yeah, this is great. And to think about it, people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go and get stem cells from embryonic research, labs. I just sent a friend of mine who was a famous athlete over to Costa Rica because that's where it's only legal, where they can actually do the stem cell because he had some brain injury from playing professional football. And it was like $150,000 for him to go over there to have the stem cell IV put into his body and then allow the stem cells to go. But the thing is, he'll have to go by every 3 years or so to get a retreatment because his body is not creating new blood cells. They're
yeah,
only,
and this this is
Mhm.
all he needs.
This is all he needs now. If I had known about this then, this is what I would have had him on. But I got him on he's getting ready to get on it now and tell the whole NFL about it. But yeah, so it's just amazing, that um, like Kara was saying, it stimulates your own body's stem cells. So you have baby stem cells that are now formulating in your body. In a 60-year-old body of mine, I have new stem cells that will be generating, and they will go and repair whatever damage that's going on in my body, whatever needs to be done.
Well, and look at how beautiful she is, and she just glows. And what's happening in her body? See, before this, when cells died,
Hmm.
her body would recreate her 60-year-old
Hmm.
cells with shorter telomeres. That's the end cap on DNA. So
Hmm.
now, instead of that, when her immune system's starting to work, so it can locate and destroy the fast aging and the damaged and diseased cells and the zombie cells and get rid of them, but and bring in and yeah, and bring in these brand new baby cells with very long telomeres, meaning very long life. So this is how her body is reversing in biological age. This is how my body is reversing in biological age. And this is really truly, and I'm going to show you a picture here. The first ever true quantum nutrition. Nobody has ever done this before.
Right.
So,
I
uh,
can't wait to meet the founders so I
wait,
can shake their
oh,
hand.
I know it. Well,
In
next,
Mississippi. I'll be there in
uh,
Dallas. So.
yeah, Dallas, October 25th and 26th, we are having our first real convention. It's called Evolution, and all of the owners are going to be there. Mr. C, the head of the science team, who we've never seen his picture. We don't ever see him
I
unless
can't
we're there in person. Yeah. And
wait.
and Sally and her husband who program the frequencies into the eye patch. Josh and I will be there. I mean, this is gonna be amazing. Um,
I
where
tell
was
you,
I?
I would never, never stop using this.
Ah,
Never,
me
never,
either. Me either.
never. And I own, actually, I just to kind of give you guys a little background on me, I've been in holistic wellness and for what, 38 years or so. And I have my own supplement line, but I don't even, I tell my people now, if you need to do something, spend your money on something, do this, because this cleans the blood. I can't give you anything like this on a supplemental level.
Nothing else cleans the
And
blood.
I know there are herbs out there, but they have to go through the digestive process and it takes forever for the body to clean itself. And then you have to do so many other things. There's so many other variables for people to consider. Whereas with this, you just spray it and let it do what it was designed to do. Natural plants do what they were designed to do. High frequency molecules of these plants. Just that's a whole nother level. We're not just talking about plants. We're talking about the highest frequency molecule of those plants operating inside of your body and allowing your body to do what it was designed to do by God naturally. And
And
that's heal
not
itself
just physically, but mentally, emotionally,
emotionally,
and
everything.
spiritually, raising
Yes.
your frequency, raising your consciousness. And with what's going on the planet right now, I mean, there's all sorts of changes and there's all sorts of frequency changes. The whole planet is evolving, and this is what has been given to us from God's garden to allow us to raise our frequency and our consciousness so we can evolve with it.
I call it care. This is what I call God's ram in the bush, because I was praying for answer. I was like, God, I know you don't want your people to be sacrificed like this, because so many people were coming to me with so many different um just, conditions. And I just, you know, I honestly just didn't have the whole answer, because I knew that there were so many variables that they would have to do in order to reverse those things. And a lot of people just are not ready to make those dramatic changes in their life, to exercise, get on the sun, the ground, to eat more plant-based, eat clean plant-based. It's just so many variables
But
that,
you know what, Denise? When you
yeah.
start doing this, people start making those higher frequency changes.
Choices. You do. And I eat, you're going to eat less because honestly, your body, your cells, once your cells are fed and getting the nutrition that it needs, you don't get those hunger pains or cravings. Like I haven't eaten sweets at all since I've been on iHercules. My body doesn't even crave it, because it wasn't that my body was craving it. It was the parasites
Yep,
were living inside of my body that was craving those sweets. It
absolutely.
could have been cells. Excuse me, I don't mean to use that word, but it could have been, who knows? It could have been some type of pathogen, because those are the negative vibrational beings inside of us, parasites that are craving the sugar and those things that are bad for us. So my body doesn't crave that stuff anymore. I go to a restaurant, I don't even want sweet tea. I don't want anything that's sweet. I want water. I want hydration. And that's
A lot
it.
of people, that's exactly what's happening. They're eating better food, they're drinking better water, better liquids, um, and they're thinking better thoughts.
Yeah. Because a lot of the parasites, they don't realize parasites actually send signals to your brain. They're giving you those thoughts, those negative vibrations, negative thoughts to say, go do this and go do that, go do this. That is not of, not of God, So we don't understand that those parasites actually control our actions a lot, those negative parasites. So
And
now that,
bacteria and virus, all of those things have that same effect on our body. They can control us,
Mhm.
just like parasites can. This is the first ever true quantum nutrition. And I want to show you why I say that and know that as a fact. I'm going to
Mhm.
show you this here. Let me put
Okay.
this up. Okay. You see this horse's hoof? This is what really said it to me. Can you see that okay? Denise?
Yes, great,
Okay.
great.
So this crack in this hoof, this is a big deal because when a horse gets this crack, they have to put him down because they can't fix it. They've never been able to fix this.
Wow.
And this was a multi-million-dollar racehorse, and the owner had been using iHercules and had heard me tell all these dog and cat stories and thought, well, what the heck? Let me try this on. And with animals, you usually just spray it on their food or in their water. So he started spraying like 10 sprays morning and evening on this horse's food, this racehorse's food. In 2 weeks' time, it totally healed over.
Mm,
And when I saw that, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, isn't that amazing? It was, oh my gosh, that proves this is quantum nutrition. This is the highest frequency quantum nutrition. Quantum means it can be either a particle or a wave.
mhm.
And when we spray iHercules under our tongue, that's going into our bloodstream as a particle. But you know what? There's no blood flow in a horse's hoof. So this is going in, those nutrients went in to heal that as a quantum wave.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is like nothing else. And as long as we're here, let me just show you my before and after pictures because
I
some of
love
you
this.
haven't seen this. This is what it looks like to have dirty blood and blocked up circulation and a lot of zombie cells, even after 50 years of doing everything right.
Trying to do
This,
everything right.
yeah, doing everything I could. And
Mhm.
this is after 3 years on iHercules.
Wow.
I mean,
Amazing care.
that definitely shows reversal in biological age.
It
So,
does. It does. You look
this,
wonderful, Care. You have a glow, and I just love watching you and hearing you and just learning from you as well. So thank you for giving
well,
me the opportunity to speak
thank
with
you. I am so glad you came on. This has been a lot of fun. We'll have to do this again.
you.
So we are past the top of the hour, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that came. We had a really big group on tonight, and this has been enlightening.
Someone asked about the Nobel
Attention.
Prize. Can you just touch on that?
Well, I think what she's referring to
Lady.
is the company that we had a 1,500 person study that of blood work. And it was sent to a company that had won the Nobel Prize for developing the test for biological age. And up until that time, everybody, I mean, thousands of people had gotten tested. Lots of them had had $150,000 worth of stem cell, you know, injections and all of that. But nobody had reversed biological age more than 5 years. And when these 1,500 blood studies came in from like Hercules users, every single one of them reversed in biological age by 15, 20, 25, 30, or more years.
Mm,
I mean, this is the most phenomenal product, the most amazing company that, and you all that are on here are the ones that God selected to be the way showers.
amen. Amen.
And so here you got goosebumps again. So blessings, everybody. Tomorrow night, by the way, um, I have a 8 o'clock presentation. And then at 9 o'clock, that's Eastern time. And then at 9 o'clock, Joshua will walk you through the compensation plan in a way you've never seen it. There's so many levels of compensation. We call this compassion with compensation. I never started this as a business, but Josh and I are at the top level of the company because I can't shut up about it. And hopefully you'll be there too, because same thing. When you understand this, it's like, how do you not tell your family and your loved ones and your friends, and anybody who's standing next to you, behind you in the grocery line? How do you not tell them there's a better way and this is it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, blessings, everybody. Oh, and then Thursday night, let me just it um so there's 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock tomorrow night Eastern time. And then Thursday it's Maureen Solomon is at 7 o'clock presentation, but at 9 o'clock we've got Dr. James Pruitt, who's going to walk you through how do you really get started and do this big. And Dr. Pruitt um, he has done it bigger than anybody. I mean, in 2 months' time, he's got more than 2,000 people in his group, and he's
Wow.
almost at the top of the um,
The latter.
yeah, whatever. You can tell I'm not the business person in
Yeah,
this.
I'm not.
I don't even know the terminology.
I
I
don't
just know that the terminology for who we are when we buy packages, either one of the packages, we're transformational affiliates because this transforms us,
Yes.
transforms everybody that you share it with. So share it and bring your friends tomorrow, every night of the week, except Friday night, we take off.
And if someone invited you tonight, just get back with the person that invited you. And if you want to know more information or how to get started, they can help you with that.
Absolutely. Blessings, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Denise. You were awesome.
I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Mwah.
Blessings, everybody. Night now.
Good night, everyone.